Cryptography today is much different than what it started off as. We can trace cryptography all the way back to its original use of message confidentiality. Julius Caesar used ciphers, now known as Caesar ciphers, to encrypt messages in order to communicate with his army. As for the more recent history of cryptography, it didn't take off until after World War II, when rising tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union caused new methods to emerge. One of the more well-known and important creations was that of the Enigma machine. It essentially changed the letters of a message so that it appeared to be a string of scrambled letters. Due to the complexity of the changing encryption, it was very difficult to decrypt. However, due to the efforts of Alan Turing, Allied forces were able to crack the code. Since then, cryptography has evolved into a complex system. With the widespread use of computers and technology and public data, hacking is on the rise. As a result, we have created higher forms of encryption and decryption. For example, the use of supercomputers has helped the cryptanalysis field greatly. The fastest supercomputer is from the DOE, which can do cryptanalysis in 1 second, what a normal laptop would do in 6 million years. Modern cryptography makes use of stronger cryptanalysis like this, as well as public keys and hashing.
Modern encryption works through a system of digital locks and keys. With single key encryption, 2 or more people share a key which they can use to encrypt or decrypt messages which can only be read by someone else who has a key. However, it is difficult to send such a key to someone securely. If the key can be intercepted, then the encryption could be broken by anybody. Because of this problem, methods were developed to allow users to securely share information without having the same key. One approach is to generate a common key together with the Diffie-Hellman exchange. In this exchange, 2 users who want to securely communicate generate their own private keys, which aren't shared with anyone. By communicating 2 public prime numbers and using the discrete logarithm function, 2 people can generate a secret number which can't be seen without one of their keys. It works like this. You and I publicly decide on 2 prime numbers C and D. I choose a private number A, and you choose a private number B. I calculate C to the power of A mod D and send the result to you. You calculate C to the power of B mod D and send that to me. We then both raise the numbers we got from the other person to the power of our private numbers. Now we both have the same secret number. This technique is useful, but it involves the creation of new numbers for every user we want to securely communicate with. A more powerful method is public key encryption through RSA. In public key encryption, a host has 2 keys, a public lock key and a private unlock key. Anyone can encrypt information using the public key and send it to the host, but only the user with the private key, the host, can decrypt it. This works using a combination of the discrete logarithm function and prime factorization. The host generates 2 prime numbers and multiplies them together to get n. The host calculates a number p by multiplying the first prime number, minus 1, times the second prime number, minus 1. He also chooses a public integer e that shares no factors with p. He calculates 2 times p plus 1, all divided by e. This is his private key. N and e constitute his public key. Another user can lock a numerical message with the power of e mod n. The host easily unlocks this by raising the encrypted message to the power of his private key and modulating by n. Without this key, the message is nearly impossible to decrypt, so the communication is secure. Just by using the internet, you're using RSA every day to keep your data safe.
Now that we know a lot about how the encryption actually works, the question and the problem really becomes, what do you want to encrypt? There's personal data, data at rest, phones, computers, anything you would really want to encrypt, and all of it has really personal data on it. But we're left with the question of, what do you want to do? If you encrypt so many things, you lose speed, you lose integrity. Your computers have to do so much more work in order to allow for your security of your data, so you have to kind of make that risk. In addition, you also need to figure out, how do I want to address the problem of it needs to be accessed? If everything's encrypted, law enforcement wants to get it. Apple's run into a similar issue during recent investigations of terrorist attacks and other things where they had iPhones, which the FBI wanted to get into to look at and see what they had been doing. Apple, however, did not want to give them their data, so the FBI had to try to force their way in. Now, this would have been something of a brute force attack. That's not really quite all that effective anymore because encryption is so good at this point. So, how do you get around that? Hacking has changed to account for the fact that it's very, very difficult to break encryption nowadays. Humans have always been the weak point. Phishing attacks have always been key to hackers getting into systems because once you have the password, you don't need to decrypt anything because the password will give you everything you need to know. The authenticated user always has their key to their part of their data. So if hackers can get that key, that's all they have to do. Once they can get in, they got in. You don't have to break the encryption. Hacking then has changed. The best way to always be sure that you're safe on the internet and on your electronics is to always be vigilant for those other ways of attacking. If you keep yourself safe on the internet, encryption does its job, and you're able to keep all of your data secure.